When the Israelites had left Egypt and they're wandering through the wilderness and they're having trouble getting food and bringing sustenance to themselves, what did God do? God provided for them every day with manna. Manna was this substance, a flaky or grainy substance that it sort of tasted like wafers and honey. And every morning it miraculously appeared on the ground, and the Israelites, when they would get up, they would go out and they would collect this manna for their consumption that day. And God provided just enough manna for their daily needs. Each day they'd go out and collect it. If they happened to collect any more than they could eat in one day, what they did not eat would spoil overnight. The only exception to that rule was right before the Sabbath would take place, they were encouraged to collect enough, not just for Friday, but also for the Sabbath, and then God would preserve that. But anything that they collected extra above God's provision would spoil. And the point of this was obvious. In order for them to be provided for, they had to look to God daily for provision. They had to recognize that they needed God every day, not to look to the past. Do you want to see success from the Lord in this new year? Do you want to have a fruitful life for Him in 2017? Then focus on today. Do not be caught up in the past, and do not live upon yesterday's blessing. So let the past be the past. But here's the other thing that I would say from Paul's perspective is, yes, let the past be the past, but also let the future be Jesus. I don't know what you're intending to pursue this moment in 2017, but I would encourage you to let Jesus be your greatest pursuit. Again, in verse 13, as he says again, I do not consider that I've made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind, let the past be the past. He then says this, and straining forward to what lies ahead. Paul's looking forward, but notice that he says there at the beginning, but one thing I do. One thing I do. But Paul was like us in a lot of ways. I mean, we are so busy in our culture today. Sometimes I think that we get the perspective that only our culture in this day and time is busy, that there haven't been busyness in other times. Every culture has been busy in its own way at every point. I mean, what do you think Paul just sat around all the time just writing letters? Paul was busy doing all kinds of things. Of course, he wrote many letters, some of which became a part of the New Testament canon. But he also preached, and he planted churches. He was even a tent maker. And so he often was busying himself, earning a living, making tents. But Paul had one priority. Among all the things that he was busy about doing, he had one goal in life, and that was to press on toward the goal that was set for him. That was his top priority.